The dust has settled. Another election cycle has concluded, leaving behind a mix of emotions, elation for some, disappointment for others. The fervor of campaigns, the debates, the promises made, all now give way to the reality of governance. Yet, amidst the inevitable partisan divide, a fundamental truth emerges. The need for effective governance transcends any single election. The real work begins now, as elected officials must transition from campaigning to governing. The true measure of a democracy lies not just in the act of voting, but in the sustained engagement of its citizens in the ongoing pursuit of a more perfect union. Democracy is a living, breathing entity that requires constant nurturing and vigilance. The challenges facing America are complex and multifaceted. From economic disparities to environmental crises, from healthcare to education, the issues are vast and interconnected. They demand thoughtful solutions, not partisan gridlock. It is essential for lawmakers to rise above party lines and work collaboratively to address these pressing issues. They require leadership that prioritizes the nation's well-being over political expediency. True leadership is about making tough decisions that benefit the greater good, even when they are not popular, and they necessitate an informed and active citizenry, holding its elected officials accountable and demanding a government that truly serves the people. Civic engagement doesn't end at the ballot box. It continues through community involvement and advocacy. The time for empty rhetoric is over. Campaign promises must now be translated into concrete actions and policies. The time for action is now. It is a collective responsibility to ensure that the momentum of the election translates into meaningful progress. As we move forward, it is imperative to shift our focus from the divisive rhetoric of the campaign trail to the constructive dialogue necessary for progress. Constructive dialogue involves listening, understanding, and finding common ground. We must move beyond the limitations of party labels and embrace our shared identity as Americans, united by a common destiny. Our strength lies in our diversity and our ability to come together for the common good. The future of our nation hinges not on who occupies the Oval Office, but on the collective will of the American people to demand better governance, better representation, and a better future for generations to come. It is a call to action for every citizen to play their part in shaping the future. The pursuit of a stronger, more prosperous America requires a clear vision, one grounded in principles that have stood the test of time. This vision is not just a fleeting idea, but a deeply rooted commitment to the values that have shaped our nation since its inception. It demands a return to the fundamentals that have long served as the bedrock of our nation's success. These fundamentals include the principles of liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness, which have guided us through times of triumph and adversity alike. To navigate the complexities of the 21st century, we must embrace a framework that empowers individuals, promotes economic vitality, and ensures a government that is both effective and accountable. This framework must be adaptable yet steadfast, capable of addressing contemporary challenges while staying true to our core values. Our vision for a brighter American future rests upon four fundamental pillars, each one a cornerstone in the edifice of our national progress. First, the Convention of States. To restore the balance of power between the federal government and the states, as envisioned by the Founding Fathers, we must rein in federal overreach and empower states to address their unique challenges. This initiative is crucial for fostering innovation and responsiveness at the local level, where the impact of governance is most directly felt by citizens. Second, fiscal responsibility. A nation drowning in debt cannot prosper. We must prioritize fiscally conservative policies that curtail wasteful spending, balance the budget, and secure a sound financial future for generations to come. This means making tough choices today to ensure that our children and grandchildren inherit a nation that is financially stable and capable of meeting their needs. Third, term limits. Entrenched political elites are more beholden to special interests than to the people they are elected to serve. Term limits are essential to break the cycle of career politicians, inject fresh perspectives into government, and ensure that elected officials remain accountable to their constituents. By limiting the time one can serve, we encourage a government that is more dynamic, innovative, and reflective of the people's will. Fourth, Federal Reserve accountability. The Federal Reserve's unchecked power and lack of transparency have far-reaching consequences for our economy. We must demand a comprehensive audit of the Federal Reserve and explore alternative monetary systems that prioritize stability, transparency, and accountability. This will help safeguard our economic future and ensure that monetary policy serves the interests of all Americans, not just a select few. These 4 pillars represent a roadmap to a stronger, more prosperous America. They are designed to create a society where opportunity is abundant, governance is fair, and the economy is robust. They are not partisan talking points, but rather common sense principles that transcend ideological divides. By embracing these pillars, we can build a future that honors our past, meets the challenges of the present, and paves the way for a brighter tomorrow for all Americans. The Founding Fathers, in their wisdom, recognized the dangers of an overreaching federal government. They meticulously crafted a system of checks and balances to prevent any one branch or level of government from becoming too powerful. They understood that a delicate balance between federal and state power was essential to preserving individual liberty and ensuring a government that truly served the people. This balance was not just a theoretical concept but a practical necessity for a diverse and expansive nation. Today, that balance has been eroded. The federal government has grown exponentially, often at the expense of state sovereignty and individual freedoms. The federal government has expanded far beyond its intended scope, encroaching upon the rights of states and individuals alike. This expansion has led to a centralized power structure that is increasingly disconnected from the needs and desires of local communities. This overreach has stifled innovation, burdened our economy with unnecessary regulations, and undermined the principles of federalism enshrined in our Constitution. Small businesses struggle under the weight of federal mandates, and local governments find themselves hamstrung by bureaucratic red tape. A convention of states, as envisioned by Article 5 of the Constitution, offers a path to restore the balance of power. This provision allows states to come together to propose amendments that can limit federal overreach and return power to the states. By convening a convention, states have the power to propose amendments to the Constitution, bypassing the gridlock of a Congress often beholden to special interests. This process empowers states to take the initiative in addressing issues that the federal government has failed to resolve. This is not about dismantling the federal government, but about reining in its excesses and empowering states to address their unique challenges. It is about creating a more responsive and accountable government that reflects the diverse needs of its citizens. A convention of states offers a powerful tool for states to assert their rightful place in our federal system and to ensure that government remains accountable to the people it serves. It is a mechanism for restoring the principles of federalism and ensuring that power is not concentrated in a distant and unresponsive federal bureaucracy. The time for a convention of states is now. With growing concerns about federal overreach and a desire for more localized governance, the momentum for such a convention is building. The future of our republic may very well depend on it. By taking action now, we can ensure that the principles of liberty, accountability, and local governance are preserved for future generations. A nation, like a household, cannot spend its way to prosperity. Yet, for far too long, Washington has operated with a reckless disregard for fiscal responsibility, accumulating a mountain of debt that threatens our economic future. This unsustainable path jeopardizes the American dream for future generations, leaving them saddled with the consequences of our fiscal irresponsibility. We must demand a return to fiscal sanity. This requires a fundamental shift in our approach to government spending, one that prioritizes needs over wants and embraces fiscal conservatism as a core governing principle. We must cut wasteful spending, streamline government bureaucracy, and eliminate duplicative programs. We must enact meaningful entitlement reform to ensure the long-term viability of programs like Social Security and Medicare. And we must create a tax code that is fair, simple, and conducive to economic growth. Fiscal responsibility is not about austerity, it's about stewardship. It's about making responsible choices today to secure a brighter tomorrow. It's about ensuring that our children and grandchildren inherit a nation that is strong, prosperous, and free from the shackles of crippling debt.